meeting is
Ready?
being recorded.
If you tell them to shut up.
That's to get your attention. Doesn't that mean food? All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the singing of God Bless America?
What page?
Page 9 in your song book.
Does everyone have a song book? Thank you, Jim. We don't need it. There you go. A bunch of clowns.
Yeah. God bless America. Land that I love. Stand beside her. Through the night, in the light, from the mountains to the valleys, to the ocean, white with gold. America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Yes, Mr. Payne. Thank you very much.
Let Paul lead next time.
And now, would you please join for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now please join either in prayer or meditation as you please, as I say, bless his food to our use and us. Now,
Is that medication or medication?
what? Meditation. It's fried chicken.
Ladies first.
We have our guests first at the buffet line, and ladies, Katie, good to
Killer
see you.
food today.
Holly,
Jackie.
Jackie,
Whatever you do.
hey, good to see you. Come on up. Come on.
Okay. So we're gonna pause recording.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tuesday Rotary Show. We're going to be hearing a possibly a very influential presentation because it's linked to our year's theme of workforce development. And Susan Berger and Amy Buddha are here to tell us about a new group called Shore Mentoring. But to come to them, we save the best for last. So first off, let me ask, who's happy today?
I'm very happy.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know how much?
Yes. Well, I just assumed $75 unless I hear otherwise.
I am not John Burgess, but I'm going to save that for John. But next week, Jackie and I will not be here.
Oh. Then I'm happy.
We're going to California to see her son and daughter and grandchildren. And then we're going to Vancouver. Maybe I should up that to 20, huh, Jackie?
I think you should make it $2 bill.
Okay.
That's why she's our treasurer.
So that's why I'm happy, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm not sure when Jackie is coming back.
Okay.
Let's go.
I'm just telling him, but I want to see what's happening.
Well, thank you all for $10. And I am going to put in $10, not just
Sounds so bad.
but this is kind of catch up. Before Christmas, I had the good fortune of watching my daughter and receive a graduate degree from Emory University. She's now a physician's assistant. And so that's $5. And the other $5, I'm putting $10 in all total, is because you had this is a fabulous time to be looking for work if you're in the medical field.
Yeah.
And so she landed a job It's not her dream job, but it is at her dream employer, the Children's Hospital down in Washington, D.C. And she'll find her way. She's got her foot in the door, and she'll find her way. So there's $10. Who else? Hey, don't fight.
You said go ahead. Thank you, John, because my happy dollars are going to involve you.
Oh.
You can give something. Today is my 76th birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Reggie. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, and my happy dollars, $10 plus 66 from John makes it 70.
John, thank you so much. Thank you, John. All right.
Okay. Go ahead, if you're ready. Go ahead.
Oh, well, that Reggie spoke up in 4 days, it's my 72nd birthday.
Wow, you baby. Are you happy about that?
That is why.
All right.
All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I turned 73. I'm putting in today. So break me over to 17. You're not mad. I did do some meetings, traveling. He said, oh, great, we're gonna be home for several weeks, it's also great. Part of what I was trying, I don't think our 4 week followed one Seals nephew through football championship playoffs all the way through for 4 years in a row. These 2 nephews have played in this 3 years, they lost. Different teams, 2 different schools. This year, the last nephew won, Bluefield, Virginia, called Graham, won the state AA football championship, and he was named the first team defense. This is no bloodshed of mine, which you probably figured out already. Don't see it inside. Happy to be back and plan to be here for a while, whether you want me or not. I'll be here.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
How happy were you?
20 minus the 17 from Reggie says 3 from me.
Plus the 66, yeah.
All right, anyone else? I have no, now, are there any announcements for the good of the order? I would like to repeat a call on all committee chairs to give me a list. I don't know, is this the list of, oh, great. To give me a list of the committee activities. So social committee, if you will, you know, we're going to have the installation dinner in June, and there's going to be one spring thing, and pick a month. And I'd like that from all of the committee chairs so that we kind of have a checklist of what we're going to be doing, because there's a lot of things on the fire. This is going to be a busy year. We've got the caboose, we've got the Invisible History project that we have to wrap up, and you know, I've only got 6 months left, so I'm gonna so I'm gonna be holding feet to the fire. Yeah.
Relative to that, Bill Murphy asked me to call the search committee together after the meeting.
Oh.
And you know who you are, because we're searching for a president-elect.
Good. Interestingly, we have a president nominee.
We got 5.
Okay,
It's
all right.
the president-elect is the issue.
Yeah, we just got too many bashful members, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. So
So that's Chuck, Paul.
Bill,
Okay. The four of us for a few minutes after the meeting.
Okay.
All right. I would like to, I'm sorry, we have the card, the play
yeah.
cards. Queen of Hearts, excuse me. So, will everyone grab their cards? Did you get the?
Ace of
that I paid
Clubs.
for? Oh my, now we're done.
They got a higher ace.
You're, want to take three?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ace of Cards, maybe one, two.
Black beats Ace of Clubs.
Ace of Hearts.
It's a hard.
Oh, my high is a 10 of hearts. Who can beat it? Ace of diamond. Oh, a lot of aces here today. Okay.
Ace of spades, you don't think it can beat Ace.
Yeah.
That's right. I think Chuck is a winner.
Chuck is,
$24.
$24.
$4 this one.
All right. So, all right.
Yeah, you figured it out.
Come on, you gotta pick your card.
Go to
So
your
if
card.
Chuck picks the Queen of Hearts, he wins the pot plus
I think we're down to
today's
like 48
contribution.
cards now.
Now, before he does, what's the, how much money is at stake?
Oh, I don't know.
Who worries about money when you pick the wrong card?
Okay,
So,
you clear it up.
Okay.
Okay, we're
See,
tearing
he
up
got
the
the four
four
of hearts.
hearts. And which increases the chances of someone picking the Queen of Hearts next week.
So you
And-
get the $24 was collected today.
Yep.
The club gets half of that.
Which is 12.
Half of what's left goes into the pot,
Which is
that
6.
already has about $30 in it, so that'll be more. But Chuck gets
Yeah.
6.
Add that to the 10 that I did for Happy Dollars, make it 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and 16.
Chuck,
Thank you very much.
Put this 6 into Happy Dollars. Thank you, Chuck. Good man, Chuck.
I came in broke, I'm going out the same way.
That's 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to try something we have not we're sort of pushing the technological envelope today. Randy Diamond is going to introduce our speakers today. But Randy is attending on Zoom because his wife tested positive for COVID.
Oh, no.
So, Randy, if you can hear me, would you please take the stage?
Can you hear me?
Can
You
you
can.
turn?
Yes.
We've decided if everybody is perfectly quiet, we can hear you, Randy.
All right. Now, before I start, I wanted you to know that I was frantically waving my hand during Happy Dollars.
Ah,
Go!
So
Start!
I'm going to take advantage of the forum now for 10 Happy Dollars. As you may recall, Saturday was New Year's Eve, and my wife had been showing symptoms for a day or two, and it was very difficult to get a hold of anyone. Finally, through the hospital, I was put in contact with the on-call physician, who happened to be our very own Dr. Mark Clark. So he was a great help, and we got what we needed, and everything seems to be in good shape. So that's my 10 Happy Dollars.
Bravo.
Glad to hear
right.
Prior to the holidays, we had talked once during a meeting about forming a mentoring program that would be centered around Rotarians giving in-class presentations on career opportunities. And there was a lot of interest. Quite a few people, about 20 people signed up as being interested in pursuing that. I started to try to develop a format for that to present to the school administration. And in the process of that, I found out there was another mentoring program being developed. And rather than try and run two things that may have been not necessarily conflicting, but trying to accomplish the same thing, I attended an organizational meeting for that group, and then subsequently a direct meeting with the three ladies who are heading up that program. And their program is much more energetic than anything I had in mind. They're probably compatible. They certainly don't conflict with each other. But that program is based on a one-on-one mentoring and or tutoring situation where it would be through the school, but it wouldn't be in class. It would be outside of class and it would be independently, generally on a one student or maybe a small group of students and the individual mentors. The program sounded to me to be something very worthwhile, and given the interest that you all showed when we brought the subject up in the first place, I thought it would be good to invite them to come and tell you what it's all about. So today I'm happy to have Susan Berger and Amy Buddha both with us, and I'll turn the program over to them.
Great. Thank you, Randy. Why don't you come on up and speak from here?
Come on, Miss Amy. Thank you for having us. I'm Susan Berger. This is Amy. Both of us happen to be social workers by training. We also have another colleague, Claire Nowakowski, who has a lot of experience in the educational field. We got together because we wanted to start something here to help kids do better in school. And there's been a little upheaval with the Northampton County schools lately. But we feel that there's still the need and that we will still be moving forward to provide the volunteers. So Randy mentioned that you guys had talked about doing some kind of maybe speakers bureau or something like that, where you would be sharing your skills and your backgrounds and experience with students. Our program is a little different in that it offers volunteers an opportunity for an ongoing relationship with a student or a group of students. And that's sort of what we're based in, that we're looking for volunteers who will be interested in making a commitment to work with a group of students or one student each week, same time, same place, for the duration of the school year. And that could be, again, working in a particular subject area, or it could be working with a student who just needs somebody to sit with him or her and help. So what we do as STORE mentors is to recruit folks, to get to know you through an individual interview, and to provide training that we think will help you know what to expect when you get to the school, and also give you some maybe tools to use that might be helpful in working with small groups of students or an individual student. We also want to provide ongoing support to the volunteers, non-mandatory monthly meetings where volunteers can just share what they're doing, what obstacles they may be facing, and what other people, just to kind of share experiences and sort of have a hub, a place to come together. We have talked a lot with the county school system, and are preparing to do a training class next week and provide the schools with basically a list. Here's our volunteers, here's what we've done to prepare them. You have the opportunity to tell us what your preferences would be in terms of a small group, a one-on-one, math, science, reading, whatever, or just somebody to be a friend to a child on a once-a-week basis. We will provide that information to the school on a silver platter, and they will be able to then reach out to you to set up when that happens. We've also worked spent some time working with the Christian school here in town. I'm a firm believer that no matter what a child's family background is, socioeconomic status is, children sometimes just need a little extra attention. And so there are those students in need of that at the Christian school as well. Many more opportunities, I think, for one-on-one. Also at the Christian school, they have an after-school program. And they're interested in any kind of program. I ran a program in Howard County, Maryland for many years, and we had one volunteer who loved to knit. I know probably not high on everyone's list, but she did a group and, you know, brought all the supplies for the kids and was it, so, you know, nothing is sort of out of the question. They're looking also for a chess club, to start a chess club with young children. So, you know, that might be something if you have an interest. But the whole idea is that we want to make sure that you're matched in a situation at whatever school you prefer, whatever, with what you want and what you're good at and what you like to do. So that's, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of what I was supposed to say. Okay. So I brought a bunch of applications. I didn't know how many people will be here, but I can also send it electronically. That sort of starts the process for us. Because then we know that you would like to get involved. Then we will set up a time where we can really sit down and talk about what you like and what you.
Susan, tell us how much progress the organization has made
Right.
toward its goals.
Okay, so we, again, we're having our second information session for just generally for the community, anyone in the community who wants to learn more about what we're doing, which is basically this, only I talk slower. And we're doing that on Thursday night. Thursday. And then next Wednesday, we're holding our first training class. So those folks who come to training for the most part will have already been interviewed. We know what they're what their interests are, what they're coming for. Once that's done, aside from having fingerprinting and actually doing a background check, which the school system and or the Christian school will do independent of us, we're then ready to say to the schools, here's our folks. So it is possible, I think, before the end of the month that folks can get in and get started. And again, the expectation would be, you know, I hear people traveling and volunteers are volunteers, we get that. And if you travel, if you know you're gonna not be available for a certain period of time, that's okay, you know, but generally to make the commitment that you will, when you're here and when you're available, that you will make that commitment once a week at that time.
How many people attended the first information?
Oh.
meeting?
20?
Great.
We had a good group.
Yeah.
How
we
many
have-
signed up?
I think we've got at least 12 in the
Yes.
in the works.
Great.
Yeah.
Has anyone gone through all the fingerprinting?
No, because we haven't done it. We were gonna do the training before the holidays and it just got too fast.
Okay.
So this will be our first training class next week.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are parents involved in this as well? Because a child could have 3 or 4 interest areas and the parents may want to know more about them and counsel their children in a certain direction.
I don't need that.
The Christian school, we have requested that parents be on board and actually sign permission for us to interact with their children. For the public school, because kids can be given tutoring opportunities, we don't have to have parent permission for every single child. Parents give sort of a carte blanche permission for people to come in and work with students, which is why everyone is fingerprinted, background check.
Sure.
So, you know, everyone is cleared. The other thing that happens with the school system is there are 2 trainings that everyone has to, you have to go through bloodborne pathogen training and you have to go through sexual harassment training.
Sure.
So, and there's some really good information that comes out of that. And then in our training, we will address how do you talk to little kids? If the child says something to you that's alarming, how do you handle that? I actually was a school social worker for 33 years, and the last 2 years were here in Northampton County. So I'm very familiar with the schools, with the staff, with just how things are handled here. So, and that was my interest in seeing that our teachers, with a lot of pressures, you know, everyone has the standards of learning pressure now. The teachers really could use support. There was a little bit of trepidation from teachers because in our previous administration, teachers were often caught at being bad. Like there was this mindset of where it was not supportive. And I, you know, I'm just gonna say it, I lived it and I saw it. So teachers are now, we're saying we have a whole different regime here. You know, we're here to support. We're here to help you instruct your children and make your day be more efficient. So that's a little bit of a barrier that we had to overcome, was teachers being afraid of people being in their classrooms, volunteers being in their classrooms. And I think we're making some real progress there. Yeah.
I'm working with a fraternity that's engaged in tutoring as opposed to mentoring. And my point is, I have to get a TB test. You didn't
Yes.
mention that.
Well, it is through the school system, is one of their requirements. So my understanding is they need to be assured that you have been tested for
Yeah.
TB. They need to check it off. They don't need to test you necessarily.
You don't.
I had to go to the hospital and get a test.
Yeah, no, I think they do test you for TB.
No, it's an interview.
My
Art.
wife worked in the schools for about 14 years.
Mhm.
She failed her TB test.
Yeah.
And
It's
had
not
to
that.
go, and they said she'd never had it. But she said, they said, you were probably exposed to it, it
Right.
could have been on an airplane or something like that. And so she actually had to take some sort of medication for 6 months and then be retested.
Okay.
So
That's the first
it's
amendment.
interfered,
Yeah.
but
That's an
it-
interesting.
I passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
We were told, and I was an employee, and I can tell you what I went through. I went through an interview. I did not have the time test. I didn't have anything, nothing like that was required of me. It was simply an interview with the nurse at the health department.
Really?
And it was
Okay.
actually Miss Shirley
yeah,
that
certainly.
did. the
Cost
interview.
$100 too.
Yeah.
TB tests are scarce, so they move to the interview process to determine if you are potential exposure or not.
Right.
Right, and if you're okay, then they move
Yeah.
you on.
Yeah.
I've heard of positive TB tests requiring a chest X-ray.
Yeah.
But not medication. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I learn something new every time I step out the door, I think.
Yeah. I will tell you also, I don't mean to stop the questions if you have them, just scream, but one of the things we're aware of that the schools are in need of is some help on the 7th grade level for math. I don't know if any of you have that background and want to share your knowledge, but apparently they're understaffed at the middle school in that area and could use
Yeah.
help. Also in the high school, after school, they are trying to get folks to help have tutors to prepare students for the SOL, those standards of learning exams that happen. So that's, you know, very strictly tutoring kind of thing and is very specific to a certain area of content. So those two things, the elementary schools may be more varied in what the opportunities are.
And I don't know if you're aware, but Northampton English High School is on a 4x4 schedule. So they finish their high school the entire semester. It's kind of like a college where they finish in January. So SOLs are not all at the end of the year. They have them at the end of that first time period, and they have it again in the spring. So it's very efficient. I worked in Chesterfield County for a long time. And at one point, some of our high schools were on that schedule as well. And they found it to be a really good model for kids. And I think that was something, they did some research here in Northampton. They thought they would try it, and I think it's working for them. So.
Bill touched on some of the expense of entering the program. What are the costs, what are the fees, people who want to participate?
My understanding is that if you go through the school, the Northampton school system, that you are responsible for the fingerprinting costs.
I thought they were picking it all up.
I don't know. We need to double check that because there has been a change in the administration.
Okay.
However, I know at the Christian school, they will cover the cost of the fingerprinting. And I just want to, excuse me, one second, relay a story that I just got an email this morning from one of our potential volunteers coming to training next week, who has gone 3 times to get printed. And I will say, and this doesn't apply to all of us, but we do have some 70s people here. The older you get, the harder it is to get prints to her. Just, she's had to do it many times. So just FYI.
If you went through that background check a few years ago, do you have to do it again or?
Yes, and in fact, I understand that in the county school system, they have to do it every year.
Okay,
So what if you had fingerprinting before?
Same thing, you have to have it done again.
Yeah.
yeah, the same thing.
I know.
They're disappearing.
Yeah.
Where does the mentoring take place?
At school.
At the school?
Oh, yes,
But after school, is that what you said?
at the school.
Okay.
Not all after school. There will be some during this school. Every grade level has a schedule, and in every grade level, there is some free time built in. There's actually social emotional learning time that's built in at every grade level. That would be a time, I think, when teachers would feel very good about having students work with it, whatever subject matter. I don't think it's limited to that. We need to talk with the new administration. There's an acting superintendent. I don't think she is planning to become the superintendent. Because I also heard that they're initiate a superintendent search. So we do need to clarify some things with her. But they are on board. The school board's very supportive. The school board very much wants this to happen. I think we all know if we have a good, strong school division, it benefits all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, as residents, it benefits all of us. It benefits for us to have kids graduating, going out into the world. And I love the whole workforce development idea. And you all going into classrooms and talking about, you never thought about this as a profession. And, you know, if you reach one child that I never thought I could do this, but this man or woman has come to my class and I'm interested and I'm going to pursue that. So I think that, you know, we work together and try to support the schools and students and families as well. You know, I think it's a win for everybody. More questions?
Tell us about the finances of the group. What does it cost to put this for a year? Where does your money come from?
Free, Chuck, free.
Okay.
We initially considered incorporating as a nonprofit in order to raise some funds to support some of the, you know, the program I ran in Maryland. The organization paid for everyone's fingerprinting, that kind of thing. But the school system apparently cannot allow nonprofit organizations. They can't let one nonprofit in and not another.
Right.
So in order to not have programs that they don't want, and I guess that's a subjective decision, they don't take any nonprofit groups in. So you're going in supported by us, but you are an individual, right, in the school.
Correct. It's a Title IX violation to limit group participation. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the case from Chesapeake, I think, where the Satan Club, I don't know if you saw that on the news. The Satan Club wanted to, and they had to allow it because I don't know, you know. They had to allow it because so
Want to belong to, but
right, yes.
So what is your affiliation with the school system?
We're just friends.
So you are a
Or
non-profit organization.
They're not.
Yeah,
So you're people who want to help.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
contribute your service.
We just got together as a informally to figure out what we thought might work to effectively help the schools. And we're doing it from the outside, not as part of the school system.
and mine comes from having worked in the school and seeing the need. And as a social worker, it's a, you know, the profession lends itself to, how can we help? And I love the idea of networking. I think the more networking we do, the better it becomes. And Susan and I were friends and just happened to get off on this tangent of talking about what she did in Howard County, which was an amazing program. And the need that I saw here in Northampton County. And we thought, well, let's put our heads together. And then our third partner also she's a personal interest with having a child. And she also has a great deal of experience with education. So.
And you have a contact within the school that you work
do.
with.
We work directly with the superintendent who resigned. And we worked with her extensively. And now she's not there anymore. They had set up contacts in each school building for us that, you know, we could work with. They identified the gifted teachers because their schedules are somewhat more flexible. Their classrooms are not always full of students. So that was the identified person or people in the elementary schools. I also wanted to mention that there is a robotics team and they are always looking for people to help with the robotics team.
We actually had them here.
Did you? Okay. Yeah, that's another, great opportunity.
I think it's a fantastic program. On the other side, since you're not an LLL, you're not a nonprofit, how are you protected from potential liabilities down the road if some parent or some child or makes some allegation that's not necessarily even true?
The school system takes that responsibility.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
One other question. As you're mentoring students, are you pushing them like strictly to a college program or do you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you do like
Absolutely not.
certificate programs and specialized training and so
Well,
forth.
And right now there is some conversations with the high school about doing a college and career academy model here. We had a school that did that in Chesterfield County. And what the idea of that is, kids can choose to go to college, but if you do a college and career model, you can graduate from high school with certifications.
Yeah.
You can get Safe Serve if you want to do culinary. You can get OSHA. I mean, there's all these certifications that you can get, which makes you so much more marketable.
Yes.
If you don't want to go to college, you've got already have something that you can use.
Yeah, real quickly, I mean, with my granddaughter, she was kind of fumbling around, what am I going to do? And I showed her ads, she lives in Chicago, so I was showing her ads in the paper in Chicago for cybersecurity engineer. And the one ad said 1 year certificate program starting at $125,000 a year.
Right.
Or you
college
could go,
degree required.
yeah, or you could go to college and be $120,000 in debt when you come out, and still you're going to get offered $125,000
Exactly.
a year.
Yeah. Yeah, college is not, I grew up in, my mother was a single parent and her message to me was, you were going to college, so there was no option I went to college. And we kind of did that with our own kids too. Community college, I think, is a great option for a lot of families, but I also think that college is just not for everybody. You can leave high school with something to show for it. That's the way to go. So there is some real work being done to get this college and career thing going in Northampton, and there is going to be a need for mentors and volunteers in that program as well.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is you could come out with that certificate, earning a good wage, get a good job, and that job may have employee assistance programs that will pay for you to go get a full college diploma if you want. That's how I would.
If this year is hugely successful, what will the organization and program look like in a year?
Well, I think what it potentially could look like is a continual, like, monthly recruitment and preparing volunteers to go into the schools on a, just to rotate in throughout the year. And I mean, that's sort of how the program I did in Howard County ran, and we just if you missed one information session, you just came the next month and you got in up to the training and you kept going. So I mean, I think now, and I think also one thing to think about is that it is possible that you could return next school year, and continue what you've started this year with the same group or the same student. It could be a real ongoing thing. The program that I ran in Howard County started all elementary school. And by the time I left, some of the volunteers had followed the same kids all the way up to high school. And they were still seeing the kids in high school. So, the program could expand that way as well.
But I also think we should be clear that we are not looking at a mentoring program that happens outside of school.
Right.
We are not asking volunteers to form relationships with families, drive kids around. That is not what we're looking for. We are looking for people who are working specifically with students on school grounds.
Or after school programs, but based in the
School
school
based.
building. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's not like big brothers, big sisters. It's not that kind of thing that we're looking for.
If the club if not a single volunteer signed up from the club, what could the club as a whole do to help you?
Well, one thing that we they borrow and steal getting our materials printed. That is one issue that we been trying to, we're going to the library and spending whatever it is per copy at the library to get our things done. So, and that's us individually doing that. There are some supports of that kind. I think that would be helpful, like administrative kind of things. Can you think of anything else?
The answer is money. You always say money.
Yeah. But we have to be very careful because we can't, we just.
But you have expenses. You just said you have expenses.
Minimal, first of all, and second of all, that probably we could just informally, like, reach out to people we know and say,
Well, the club could be an honorary one of you.
You could, that could happen. Yeah, I understand.
Think about it.
I understand what you mean about that.
Yeah.
Sort of like a silent partner.
Yeah.
Help you financially.
Yeah.
And help you that way. We don't do anything except slip you a few bucks.
Any other questions? Well, you have made possible made possible a book for a 5-year-old, and it will have your name and the name of the group here. We made a donation to the Literacy Council, and they're providing us a copy of this book
That's
as their
wonderful.
first chapter book to 5-year-olds who complete their Dolly Parton.
The
Imagination Library or something.
Yeah.
Some such.
Right.
So thank you very, very much.
Thanks
I
very
look
much.
forward to working with both of you. Thank you.
And I do have applications if anyone's interested.
Yeah, I like one.
Okay, so I
Good.
can, I have a limited amount, so I thought, just in case.
And you might be able to get them copied, so.
Yeah, right. Anybody else?
Do you have this in a soft copy? You can send an email.
I can't send it, and you probably should send it back to me via email if you can.
Yeah.
Susan,
Anyone else?
Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
Randy's trying to get your attention.
I'm
Susan?
sorry. Randy, I'm sorry.
is there a mailing address to return the application?
Yeah, and it should be on here, but it's not. It's my email address, which is SFRIEND EDBUR.
Oh, God. Yeah,
We can
our
send.
secretary will get your information.
All right, yeah, I can, yeah, I can email
Give
it.
it to Dolores and we'll get it
Okay,
disseminated.
I'm sorry, yeah. Thank you for your time.
There's one last thing that I overlooked. And I would like to call Rick Hubbard and Bill Stratton to the front. Bill's gonna tell us what this is about.
So, everybody. If you don't know what Paul Harris fellow is, raise your hand. All right, so,
But they may not know what the blue dot is.
so Rick Hubbard, who's been probably in this club longer than anybody. Right?
No.
So-
Mark Clark has
Mark
been
Clark,
along with
Oh,
us.
really?
3 or 4. Okay, so, but Rick's been in since 1990.
West Center.
Long time, long time. 37 years, right? So Rick is gonna get Paul Harris +1.
Whoa.
So that means we spend
Yeah.
$2,000.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations. We'll give you all the parts. Some assembly required. Thank you.
Congratulations, Rick.
All right, will everyone stand for the Rotary pledge? Is it the truth? Is fair to all concerned?
Will it build
Build goodwill and better friendships,
be beneficial to all?
beneficial to all concerned.
And number
Will
5.
we have
fun? Yes. Thank you. Go in service, gentlemen
Okay,
and
search
ladies.
Committee over here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's Bill Scram.
So now.
So I guess that means we're done.
And put them on the table there, I'm sure they'll get it. Thank you.
I would like one of those too. At least we have one there.
I do, I just.
Get your email address.
You know what I mean?